Season 2, Episode 1 of the Blockchain Bandits. We're back. We're back. You're here with me, Jeff.
Myself, Courtney.
And me, Andy.
Yeah. Like I said, we're back. You guys thought we were dead. You thought because the cryptocurrency market is down at the moment, we've just run off because we've lost all our money in our investments. No, you're wrong, because we're doing okay, actually. We're all right. I don't know. The blockchain is still alive. That's one of our topics today, actually, because a lot of people think that because cryptocurrency market has dropped, although it was still well above what it was the same time the previous year, they thought, this blockchain thing must have just been a whole big scam, or it's dead, or blah, blah, blah. Little do you know that the blockchain has steadily been growing. And I'd like to say in the background, but not really in the background. It's just that people haven't been paying attention because they've just taken their eye off of it because I don't know, maybe they lost a bit of money in the cryptocurrency market, or it's just they've just not paid attention because they don't see these all-time highs, or it's not as apparent in the news. I don't know. The blockchain, there's a lot of things that have gone on that we could discuss, but yeah, I'm sure the guys have their take.
Well, first of all, guys, we are not financial advisors. Just gonna put that clear. We are not financial advisors.
Except Courtney.
Oh,
No,
God.
He's not a financial advisor.
Yes. So, yeah, like, I think, personally, a lot of people burnt after the new year. And, you know, the markets were going crazy. Everybody was jumping in at the all-time highs, you know, something we always advise against. And I think they were burnt by the fact that they jumped in at the wrong time. They saw the markets drop, and they looked into, you know, their account and thought to themselves, damn, Daniel. And then, you know, I think since then, it's dropped. And a lot of people that, you know, maybe got in at a low, and then they sold high, and then they said to themselves, you know what? Whoa, the market looks pretty tasty right now, and they're jumping back in, or they've jumped back in a while ago when the market did drop, and was at an all-time low, or for that period of time at least. You know, I think it's benefiting people there, but I think you just got a balance of those people that, you know, lost out, and people that actually are gaining, or that they've locked out in some shape or form. You know, me myself look at it as, you know, it's just how the markets go. It's volatile, you know. Why would I complain? It's a case of what is my next step, what's my next move, and I'll run it that way. Ultimately, it's not about the coin itself, it's about the tech. So yeah, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Just to add on that point, like, we've always advocated the technology of blockchain. The cryptocurrency market, obviously, we've said before that markets go up and down, and what we caught at the end of the beginning of the year was the market transitioning from an up to a down. Whether the market will recover to highs of 15, 20k, who knows? But we've always been optimistic in the fact that blockchain as a technology will continue to grow, and from what we've seen from the past few months is that the technology has been growing in businesses. There's been more startups with blockchain what want to use the power of blockchain technology. There's businesses which are looking for people to for blockchain developers to actually get into the scene. So maybe the market has lost some money. Maybe the cryptocurrency has gone down and there's not so much hype. But other than the market, it has continued to grow to insane heights, and it looks very promising for 2018 in terms of technology. And we all know that how businesses go, there's going to be fruition of the businesses, which is going to show in the cryptocurrency markets. There are some promising technology updates in the next few quarters. So yeah, again, as always, this scene is super exciting. So it looks good.
Yeah, just to follow on that as well. Some of you may know that I'm actually working in the industry, the blockchain technology industry, like actively, and I can say firsthand that yeah, it's definitely still booming. It's definitely still growing. Um, the I was at the blockchain expo actually this week, early on this week, and we went to the blockchain expo last year, and it was huge this year. Like it was huge. There was so many people there, so many protocols, so many people from outside the industry looking to learn more about blockchain technology because they know it's here to stay. Um, we've said this so many times that it's here to stay and stuff, and but it's it really is, and it's not just here to stay. It's here to grow. It's here to develop. It's here to become better, and it's one of those things that if you take your eye off of it before you know it, it's already blown up, and you'll be like, damn, like I wish I was there as it was growing. I wish I kept my eye on it. Maybe there was something I could have utilized that could have helped me in some way. Maybe something in terms of maybe an investment, or maybe in terms of just some sort of tech you could have used for yourself, or an idea. Just something. You don't ever want to be in a position where you just regret, basically. So if you do believe in this, then keep your eye on it, because it is definitely growing. Like, trust me, it's definitely here to grow. But yeah, moving on from that subject, we want to start talking about this new token that Courtney found. I don't know what corners of the internet this guy found this in, but you guys can make your own judgments as to, I don't know, how seedy this is or not. It's called Bunny Token, isn't it, Courtney?
First and foremost, I don't go around looking for such things at all in any shape or form. You know, I'm an avid YouTube user, and for those of you that most likely join me in that sentiment, you'd understand that sometimes on YouTube, you know, things are advertised to you. I don't know if it's Google's way of saying, you know what, you know, this is the type of thing you like.
I was gonna say that, you know. You're looking at your cookies, bro.
Most likely digging myself a greater hole here.
They do like catered advertising.
Definitely, but I think it's because I love blockchain.
Oh,
So it's
I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
it's simply pushing these types of things.
you could
I've seen
think
more
about
than just Bunny Token. I've seen another
yet,
ice.
and yet we are talking about Bunny
Yeah,
Token
here we
right
are,
now.
bro. Here we are, bro.
That being said, I've seen more than just Bunny Token. There's been other ICOs. One that I'm going to drop next week, which is quite exciting in my opinion. If you love like Azure and you're into like the whole cloud computing environment. That being said, this was just an advertisement that popped up. I decided, you know what? Whoa, why is it pushing this this token? When we look into this now. For those of you that are totally unaware of what we're talking about, if you haven't, you know, taken in all the innuendos, Bunny Token is a token for the adult industry, basically. And as you can already tell by my nervous laughter and all the rest of it, it's not normally the thing that people like to praise. It's normally the underground side of the world, and we always talk about, you know, cryptocurrencies and blockchain being used potentially for criminal activity. And I think the other side of that, in terms of the underground world, is, you know, like the adult industry and stuff like that. But I think it's actually quite interesting, Bunny Token, in terms of the use case for it, believe it or not. You know, for those of you that don't know, you know, the adult industry is actually a multi-billion dollar industry. A lot of money goes into it. You know, a lot. Yeah.
20 people spend money.
Yeah, big time. You know, some people just can't get it like that, and even if they do, then they still sometimes find themselves, you know, spending, you know, money on it. So, the key thing really, when you think about that, is that if there's so much money in it, why don't we have a payment solution for it? You know, and you think why maybe? Well, here it is. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to pay for these types of things, normally you want to be anonymous. You want to pay from your bank account and basically do it quite fast, and, you know, have low fees, all the rest of it. You don't want to be paying for it and then have an additional fee for paying for this type of service, that type of thing. So the Bunny token offers that. Sorry, I'm getting those looks from the guys, but the Bunny token offers the kind of benefits of that. Basically, because it's on the blockchain, it can be it's quite secure. It's a stable service. Banks aren't so involved. So in terms of companies, normally there's a transaction between you as the customer and the company, and normally banks will charge an extra fee because of the risk within that industry. Which bumps up the price of whatever you're paying for, whatever you're paying for. And yeah, the Bunny token ensures that this is not really the case. And yeah, as I say, it's kind of interesting. They're planning on pretty much taking over the entertainment industry in terms of payment options. And they see themselves as being on the same level eventually as like Bitcoin Cash, etc. They're pushing themselves towards the top exchanges and saying that, look, this is where we're going to be. Eventually, you need to push us up and allow people to transact with our token. They are based on Ethereum. I believe Solidity is the main use behind them, or main language behind them. For the smart contract, that's Andy saying. And they're hoping to kind of partner up with about 200 businesses and individuals within that industry, which I would assume is quite substantial. And I think if you read the white paper and you kind of do a bit of research behind them, you find that their look on the face value of things quite good, but if you really don't dive into it, it does look like they're focused a lot on the token. And that's a bit worrying to me personally. Even the advertisements that they're pushing out and stuff like that. The guys looked at it this morning with me.
Yeah, I have some issues with Bunny token. Apart from, I don't know, with all like jokes aside and stuff, you can pay for whatever you want as long as it's legal on the internet. Do what you want, but I have no issue with that. I honestly think it's like a good use case, like Courtney's saying. I think it's a good idea, but in terms of the way it's being marketed, it raises so many flags. They're dropping words like, instant returns on your investment. The value of the token will instantly go up if this happens and that happens, and they're probably trying to push, buy our token, you'll make loads of money. And that just screams Ponzi to me. It just screams Ponzi, and really, it's not. To be honest, they shouldn't be marketing like this, because they're like, even for them, they're putting themselves in the danger zone. Just getting loads of putting out that it's going to be a great investment without any regulation. I'm sure a lot of these things are against the FCA or FCC sort of regulations, where you can't, promote investments in this way. So I think regulation is going to play long term. If I was looking to get involved on Bunny token, I would be thinking about regulations down the line, how it's going to affect Bunny token. But at the same time, it tells me that what are they trying to cover up? What are they trying to make up for? If they're just selling me that the value of the token, you should be selling me the use case. That's what you should be selling me. You should be telling me how much what I can do with it, not what return I could get on the token. It's not supposed to be an investment vehicle. It's supposed to give me access to technology, essentially.
Yeah, and I think again, whilst we're not financial advisors in any shape or form, it is something to look at. They do have a referral program as well, guys. But that being said, I'm gonna stop joking now about it. It's I think just right. Your use case should be more important than the actual token and the coin. But and this is a big but. I think the issue here is that for them to push the use case to the companies, the businesses, the individuals, the exchanges, and everything behind, the scenes, they have to have a token that everybody's investing in. So I think what they're trying to do right now, at least their marketing strategy right now, is to push the token as much as possible.
Token for porn, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
And if they can get a lot of people investing, and they can show, look, we've got all this intention, and maybe they've even agreed, if they get people like 1 billion tokens and it's at a good price, then they automatically get like a number of contracts.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I reckon they're pushing for.
Yeah, like there are some, you can tell they've done some good moves. Like overall, I'm not for it too much. I mean, I understand it, why, and I understand the positives of it. The fact is, the whole demographic they're going towards are men. Around because I mean more men actually watch porn.
Yeah.
If you look at now in the cryptocurrency scene, it's we were just talking about it earlier. It's men around our age, so like 20 in our 20s to 35 is actually the range of I think on the highest amount in the bell curve. But so they're kind of hitting it from an angle. Well, from the angle of, okay, so the like, let's say 20 to 35-year-old men are really into cryptocurrencies. Oh, funny fact. Oh, they're really into porn as well. So let's give them the option of making money, and they could use their profits to buy porn, which is basically how they're going to go about it. I mean, the idea is, okay, so I don't know, let's say I don't really buy porn. Okay, Brazzlers or whatever it's called. You pay your subscription using this token, and they're using the whole fact that it's 100% anonymous, because maybe some people don't want their credit cards being put on adult websites, and it's supposed to generate profit if you're holding some. Here's one of the issues I have, and I understand where like the whole legalities of it. The main issue I have is from the beginning of the internet, porn has always been there. There's a lot of websites of porn, hundreds of thousands, not millions of websites of porn. And now here's the thing, a lot of people don't actually pay for their porn.
Yeah. That's the issue.
And they I think they know that, because here's the thing, which is actually on their website. The entertainment industry is best classified as high risk by payment providers and banks, and are often completely rejected, putting the business and the individual under constant threat of being blocked for their hard-earned cash.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, they would say that the banks understand here's the thing, we don't really like banks. Banks are very smart people, and they understand where risk lies. And now they're probably saying, why would we invest in a company which I mean is selling the service of porn? Okay, fair enough. It's a great industry. It makes a lot of money, but the fact is that there's a lot of risk, because it could just be put online for free.
Yeah.
And the cost of having to search for these videos it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, you have to sign up with some sort of
Exactly.
piracy company that scans the internet with an algorithm, and it costs a lot of money, and even those algorithms, there's ways to hide from them. So
exactly.
It's a high risk industry, like you were saying, Andy.
Yeah. That is, so when I was watching the video, I saw this after, and I was just like, well, they're saying they're promising it's gonna go up 1% a day, and it's gonna increase in value per each company going in. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that'll happen. But the fact is, like, it still doesn't escape the fact that it's, in my opinion, I think it's high risk. Yes, the people in the blockchain, the cryptocurrency scene, and the people who actually watch porn, same demographic, let's say. But besides that, I mean, but it's good that there should. I think there should be one. They're always gonna be one. It's kind of what you said. Their use case. It makes sense, you know. It makes sense.
It does.
I think it's more porn issues than cryptocurrency issues.
Yeah.
So, if that makes sense.
I agree. But at the same time, like, if someone actually dropped in the group chat, I'm not sure actually if it was the group chat we're all in, but it might have been one of the group chats I'm in. But someone mentioned that, okay, this is great, but like we were saying, no one actually pays for porn. So who's going to use the token to pay for porn if they're not using money to pay for porn? How do they incentivize that? That's another hurdle they have to come over, because people could just go on a free porn website and just watch porn, and that's it. Just free.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about paying or anything, or having a wallet to hold tokens. It's just they'd have to make the whole. They'd have to incentivize it in some way, and it's very possible if you think about it. It's very easy to incentivize. I don't know, guys who want to watch porn, young guys or young girls even who want to watch porn, because they're going to watch it because, I don't know, they feel like watching. You get that feeling when you want to watch porn, and they want to, like, it'll be very easy to manipulate someone when they're in that position. Be like, okay, you get this bonus thing if you just sign up to this, and you can buy all these tokens and you can get all this bonus crap. And I think that would work in any industry really, apart from the porn. If you're in, like, say for example, you're a gamer and you're on a gaming site and it's a free game, and someone tells you, well, if you sign up for this and you buy through these tokens, you can get all this extra free stuff. In your mind, you might think, this is how freemium games work. You know, do you think, okay, it's just £1, I'll spend it, blah blah, I'll buy it, and then it goes and becomes an addiction, because the more you get more and more, and you feel like it's worth it in the end to spend all this money. And by the end of it, you don't realize how much money you've actually spent.
It's a well-known marketing tool.
Exactly. So, it could work for them. It just depends how things work out, how it's used. But there are a lot of hurdles that it needs to overcome.
Yeah, I think it's just a balance of probabilities a bit, just as much as most of the entertainment industry, as in outside the adult industry, a lot of things can be gotten for free nowadays. So I think it's how much the actual industry is actually getting for their, in terms of cash. If they're actually getting that much money from people paying for it, or if they're not. And I guess these guys are just looking at clamping down on the people that actually are paying for it and pushing them through that service. But more than so, they're more interested in the investment, really and truly anyway, that people are promising, because then that kind of solves everything else for them in terms of deals with, companies and all the rest of it. So I think it's big in that respect. And I guess, you've got some guy sitting in his office, he's got like a high-powered job, and he's just sitting there thinking, my wife hasn't been that great recently. I want to use, some sort of site, and I want it to be totally anonymous. And that's the way he'll go about it. So go on, Bunny, you can do it.
Courtney's a full advocate of bunny token. I wonder why.
No, I personally I like use cases. I like to see different people looking at blockchain and kind of taking it and applying it to whichever industry. I know it's highly frowned upon in general society. But
which is kind of hypocritical, because I know most of you listening, according to the demographics and the stats, if you listen to a podcast about cryptocurrencies, highly likely that you are an advocate and like you watch a lot of porn, basically.
Hopefully not at the same time.
Please no.
Wait, if our podcast is in the background, bro. Oh no!
Please turn it off now if that's what you're doing, please, and watch it later at another time, please. But moving on. From that, Amazon have brought out a sandbox of kinds for blockchain development. So if you're into developing, this is going to be very interesting for you if you haven't heard it, or you want to get into blockchain developing, or just found a blockchain as a whole. Anyway, this is big news. So Andy, let us know.
So Amazon Web Services, in direct competition with Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure. So they've brought out something big on Thursday, and it's got a lot of developers excited. Users will now be able to create their own blockchain application via the Amazon Web Service Cloud Formation template tool to avoid the time-consuming manual setup of their blockchain networks. So basically, what that means is, out the box, Amazon Web Services allows you to just get a Ethereum blockchain, a private or public Ethereum blockchain running, or a Hyperledger blockchain running, relatively quick. Just again, out the box. It's free, other than the fact that you need unless you're using particular services they're offering, so hosting, for example. But in the developing community, it's very it's good news. It's very good news. It's gonna cut down a lot of time. Having to set up a blockchain manually is for example, if you didn't have the experience, would be
Very
difficult and time consuming, especially if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
This might actually get people broken into understanding how it should look, of setting up a Ethereum blockchain or a Hyperledger blockchain. Obviously, it's still going to cause you to actually. You're still going to need to be able to understand what's going on.
Of course, yeah.
You can't. It's not just like, oh, up and running, and now I've got my own ICO,
exactly, yeah.
and I'm gonna profit. We're not quite there yet, and I don't think techies would make it that easy.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
But they're using the tools to make it easier for themselves. But yeah, it's honestly some promising stuff.
Yeah.
As a techie, it makes me wonder, like, well, I think Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud are in a bit of trouble, because that is a big deal. Because again, as we were saying earlier, the amount of businesses and the amount of startups what are looking at blockchain as a solution to a problem.
It's growing.
Now, if, for example, as a developer, if you've just got AWS and you understand the service, putting that on your CV is a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking for blockchain positions, which is probably what I'm gonna start jumping into. But
yeah, like 100%, it's huge. Like, I know a lot of startups are using AWS at the moment already, and if they were thinking about getting into the blockchain space but thought it might be a bit difficult and time consuming and costly, now they've got a solution with a service they're already familiar with or signed up to. This is it's another push for ICOs. We're going to see way more ICOs, in my opinion. We're going to see loads of things blowing up in the blockchain space. Those are companies that were on the fence are now going to be like, okay, let's give it a go. Let's do this. It's big. Like, it's big news. And like Andy said, Google and Microsoft are going to be thinking, oh crap, and they're going to be like, okay, let's do this for ourselves. Let's try and make a better version to compete. And that will force other people to come out the woodworks with their own versions, and it's just going to explode. Competition in this space is really, really good. And
yeah, I just really would want to see what people actually do with it. I think that's going to be the most exciting thing, really. As Jeff says, it's going to cause competition. I think Amazon are actually one of the first to do it, just because of the way their business runs anyway. There is a bit of, almost decentralization in their business. It's not the fundamental part of it, but there is some there. So I guess they can appreciate the space, if anything else, where I think, personally, Google and Microsoft are a bit behind in that. Naturally, they want to dominate, and that's their main focus. That being said, it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes, yo. And yeah, that's it, really.
Yeah, I definitely think that Google and Microsoft are already working on their solution, whether it be known to the public or not. Because a lot of techies understand the power of the technology, so and the fact that Amazon now has brought out this solution which allows people to use blockchain templates. It gives more kind of credibility to the blockchain and Ethereum.
Well, I guess it mainly I would like to see what Google have up its sleeve. Microsoft has worked in a blockchain environment quite a bit. They have their hands in developing assisting developers with Solidity within Visual Studio. They have IOTA. They've worked with as well. So they do have some things, but I think in terms of this specific thing, they haven't looked potentially maybe into it, or maybe it's a future plan of theirs. But I think they're doing their little bit, but I think they could do a bit more, considering they're the most powerful tech company in the world. Google, on the other hand, I don't know if they've done that much with blockchain.
Well, Google, I've been very upset with you, Google, if you're listening. Guy at Google, head of Google, or the Google hive mind. Because, Google brought out this thing where they banned... I can understand why they did it. They banned advertising of ICOs, and they haven't done it yet, but in July onwards, you won't be able to advertise ICOs on Google or through the Google ads. They're not the only people to do this. I think MailChimp, Twitter, and other social media websites are going in this direction. I don't know. I understand, obviously, like I've said a lot of times, a lot of ICOs are trash. But, there are some that are good, and I didn't see the point of punishing the good ones and stifling the tech in that way, because, Google's obviously the biggest platform you can get. So where are these good ICOs supposed to get heard? It's very difficult. But, and considering that Google own YouTube as well, so that's going to be out the window, which is a huge one for that market.
Yeah. I think Google is kind of like dealing with. I'm sure they're working on looking at this article here, I just found. Google are working on their own blockchain related technology. Yeah. They're working on their own digital ledger.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know if it's Google or Alphabet.
Yeah.
Like they're. When it comes to YouTube, there's the YouTube kind of scene is dealing with this whole free speech scenario at the moment. What is a hate speech?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're so ingrained in that right now. But I'm sure because it's such a large company like Alphabet, they can surely bring out something.
Yeah.
Is it just a scheme for them to corner the market a bit more?
Maybe, perhaps. Maybe it was they were just trying to kill the market a bit more whilst it was down, get confidence out so they could buy tokens. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. Google, please don't be upset with me. I'm joking. I'm joking. But it's a tricky situation. It's hard to gauge why exactly that's happening. Obviously, we know there's scams and stuff, but there's scams in every single industry, and they haven't banned a whole. There's scams, for example, in the finance industry, but they're not going to ban finance ads, are they? There was a lot of scams in the forex market, in terms of dodgy brokers and dodgy Ponzi schemes, and they haven't banned ads for forex. So it's a very, very tricky one to understand there.
Potentially, it's government driven. That could be another aspect, maybe.
Maybe, but the government haven't imposed any regulations or anything about that. They've actually openly said that they want to leave as much space for the blockchain, for growth, for blockchain to explore itself and to evolve, and then once it gets to a sort of a critical point, they'll step in and be like, okay, this is the framework, because they're still learning about it themselves.
Exactly, it's still such a new technology, and I mean how what was it? It was 1970s when the government actually decided to get involved with the banks and be like, you guys are doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or tried to anyway.
Yeah.
And we all know how that went. Yeah. But I don't know if certain companies are getting particular favour because of who they are. Yeah. I know that Theresa May, obviously we're based in the UK. Theresa May has said that they're looking to transition the UK from a company which offers high class of financial services to more tech.
Yeah.
They a lot of money is going in towards tech, so your fintech technology companies and your technology startups. So it'll be I think it's for the best for governments to allow blockchain to grow. However, that doesn't mean to say that it's okay for technology companies to exploit the users using their services or what their tools.
position.
Yeah, and or exploit exactly. Because when the exploitation happens, that's where the regulation happens.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Zuckerberg.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. That's another topic I think we're going to probably speak about in the next one, the data protection and things like that, and where blockchain comes into play on that. But I think for now, we've come to an end of episode 1 of season 2 of the Blockchain Bandits podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like, a comment, let us know what you think, give us your opinions. We want you guys to get active. Really want you guys to let us know your opinions. If you haven't already, join our WhatsApp group. We'll probably start a Telegram group soon as well. Subscribe on YouTube, Castbox, iTunes, and you'll get these podcasts every time they come out. You get it right on your device. You get to hear our voices and listen to us wherever you are, whatever you're doing, except for if you are watching the board. Okay?
I was gonna say that.
Please don't do that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. See ya.
And that's the end from Blockchain Jeff. And see you later, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the weather if it's good for you now. It's supposed to go terrible and start snowing next week. So, make sure you've got your coats ready.
Yeah, see you guys soon.